Hello viewers, this is BVI Channel 1 and I am Asus Chinedu Peters. You're welcome to this episode on Biafra Discourse. And I have with me an important personality whom many of you have already known, the administrator of the customary government of indigenous people of Biafra. He is here with me to deliberate on some pertinent issues, biting issues that had to do with Biafran agitation. Hello, engineer. You are highly welcome to BVI Channel 1 today.
Thank you. You are welcome, my viewers.
It's always a pleasure having you around because I know you are always loaded. And today we are going to be looking into Ohaneze Ndigbo and Biafran agitation. Currently, the Ohaneze president in the person of Nyamodo made a statement that the relationship between indigenous people of Biafra and the Ohaneze is a relationship between father and son. And by your assessment so far, what do you think the relationship is all about before we now go into the main issue of today?
Okay, thank you very much. Indigenous people of Biafra is an acronym that identify a people that inhabit not just the eastern region of Nigeria previously, but far beyond it. It includes people of Ijo as ethnic extraction, Ibibio, Efik, Urobo, and the rest of them. They are within the territory that were previously called Biafran territory before the coming of the white man. And they are indigenous, meaning that they are the aborigine. They live in that land before Nigeria was created or carved out. Inside that, indigenous people include the Igbo ethnic nationality. In other words, if the relationship between Ohaneze and that of indigenous people of Biafra is to be likened to that of father and son, I think the context is that Ohaneze, being a body that come out on its own and to represent Igbo or to speak for the Igbo, will be regarded as the son.
In this context?
In this context.
Because from his speech, from that address by President of Ohaneze, it seems that Ohaneze is placing himself as the father, while IPOB is the son.
There is always a big problem among our people. The leadership we have in our society had always derailed. I don't know what's the cause, but I don't understand how Ohaneze leadership should assume that Biafran people should subsume themselves under Igbo extraction, Igbo leadership. What about the Ijos? Ijos, are they Igbo? Are they not Biafrans? The Efiks, are they not Biafrans? Are they Igbo? So if you now want to bring the indigenous people of Biafra under the leadership of Ohaneze Ndigbo, this is Ohaneze Ndi Biafra. So it is a statement that I don't think he really understands the content of that very statement, because what he's trying to do is to narrow Biafra to Igbo extraction. But that is where they have always have the problem, because every time I hear them talk about Biafra, they say southeast. Southeast in context of the zone, not southeastern Nigeria.
Yeah,
but
in each geographical expression.
Good. They look at it as the south, as if to say Biafra is only Igbo. And that is why they go about raising dust, discussing Biafra, as if to say they have no other ethnic nationality to consider. And that is why they have also been shooting themselves in the foot, because they don't want to go beyond their Igbo boundary to bring into their folk or get people of other ethnic extraction that they share the same geographical location with. So it is a misnomer. It's a misnomer in order for somebody to assume that the indigenous people of Biafra would be the son, while Igbo.
Yeah.
It's just like saying Nigeria is the son to Igbo or to Hausa, while we are all sharing Nigeria. The father in this context is the indigenous people of Biafra. In short, Ohaneze should affiliate with
indigenous people of Biafra, and not the other way.
And not the other way.
Okay, from what you just said, you made mention of zoning, bringing it down and narrowing it down to the recent statement made by Anambra chapter of Ohaneze. Actually, we came across it from Fides newspaper. As you can see it right here, I'm having it right here. It says Anambra Guba, Ohaneze issues red card to other aspirants, that's Oba and other aspirants, insists on Anambra not completing their tenure. Reading it down, you see where they say that the gubernatorial ambition of aspirants from Anambra South Senatorial Zone for November 18th election have received serious knock following the insistence of Anambra chapter of Ohaneze that Northern Senatorial Zone must serve out their full tenure. Now, this is the main issue, and this problem have been narrowed down to the Biafran land, which is Anambra State. Talking about Anambra election coming up in November. What is your perspective with this issue of zoning? Because personally, I have so many issues concerning it.
Zoning is an aspect of managing a situation so that certain area described or carved out as zone will also experience what others have experienced before. But the question is this: in this particular situation where we are looking at, what is really the contest? The governorship position. What is government? What is governor supposed to be or to do in an area? Let me give you an example. I come from the north, and I know that we have now the governor from the north. The question is this.
That's Anambra North.
Anambra North. The question is this. How far has the northern governor affected northern indigenous, northern people, northern local governments? As Anambra North, for instance, we have 7 local governments there. And I know that all the local governments today, if you go to those local governments, you discover they have been shortchanged. The government is to be an institution that delivers service to the people. Now, when you now say you have given our zone the governor, and at the end of the day, the whole essence of democratic dividends is tailored to a community where the governor comes from, or even to the local government where the governor comes from. Have you not dealt a very stumbling blow to the other section of that zone who have not even actually benefited? And then by next time you're going to take it to another zone, and even the same people, some people in that same zone will continue to complain. The point I'm trying to make is that if this zone is to be looked at holistically, we have to look at the zone. If the governor now deals with his own community, then you talk about zoning with reference to communities. The community represents the zone. We have not been able to define what really is this zone.
The history of zoning, if I can remember, started with Ohaneze in the context of Nigeria in general.
Yes.
That's from where you now have the siege of political zones.
What's called political zones of Nigeria.
As presented by Kweme and the rest of them. And that's their position. Now,
but you can remember that before then, we have also senatorial zones which operate within the states.
Now, I know, but what I'm talking about, the zoning as a contest, is an injustice. Using injustice to solve injustice.
Yeah.
Because in the context of Nigeria, trying to use zoning to balance equation, but replacing capability, replacing responsibility, replacing merit with sentiment, mediocres. And that is the problem of Nigeria as a country.
Yeah.
Now, with Ohaneze relationship and the contest in Biafra land, like you have explained, that Biafra is far larger, bigger than Ohaneze. That Ohaneze have no justification whatsoever to decide for the Biafran people what and how they should or who to present themselves as leaders. Now, this current agitation for Biafra calls for an overhaul of the system. But it seems Ohaneze is presenting itself as an institution to stop the overhauling of the system and maintain the status quo, which originally Biafran people are agitating against.
The point there, my brother, is that all along all through political experience we've been having in this part of the world, what we have in Nigeria, in Igbo land, in Biafra land, are people who only outlook is that of Nigerianism. They are only interested in putting forward one Nigeria concept. Today, there is a lot of political upheaval going around inside Biafra land, Anambra State in particular also. What we are now looking at now is Biafrans coming up to say we have not been represented. That in governance, people have not come out to say, yes, we are in government, yes, but we are also Biafrans. So what we are having today is a situation where Biafrans are rising to demand to be properly represented. So, in the context of zoning, where do this zoning of north, south, and central find its way in this context of Biafra? You get the point?
Yeah.
Biafran people in Anambra State are moving around, agitating and saying, we want freedom, we want to be properly represented, we've not been represented well. And you are trying to tell us zoning. Now, the zone we are acknowledging is the zone between Nigerian zone and Biafran zone.
Okay, so now we now have two zones in Biafra.
That is what we have in Biafra.
That's the Biafran zone
and the Nigerian zone. And the Nigerian zone has been in government all these years. It is Nigerian zone since the end of the war. It's the Nigerian zone that has been in representing Biafran people in Nigerian governance. Today, Biafrans are saying we want to be part of this government. We want to we want to govern ourselves, even inside Nigeria. So what we are saying is that right now, the situation is Nigeria versus Biafra in political chessboard of Anambra State.
Will I be correct if I say that Ohaneze had been working against the Biafran agitation in the context of trying to push down the throat of every Biafran to swallow the pill of one Nigeria through the instrumentality of zoning? Because from what you explained, it is either between Nigeria or Biafra. That is the two zones that is happening now in Biafran land.
Ohaneze came on board at early 1980s. Between that time and now, what has Ohaneze done in order to present Biafrans, to represent Biafrans, even in this, what I can call resurgimento of Biafran agitation? What position has Ohaneze taken concerning Biafrans, even as they are killed on the street? What have Ohaneze done? Ohaneze had always been a kind of a pro-Nigerian, on the pro-Nigerian side. Ohaneze had always been on the pro-Nigerian side. In fact, they are so scared of the word Biafra, they don't want to mention it when they talk. When they speak, they only talk about Nigeria. They talk about Igbo. They are afraid to mention, probably they are afraid that the power at the top will not be comfortable with them. They will no longer share table with them if they go in a Biafran way. So, Ohaneze is trying to use, like you rightly pointed out, this issue of zoning to deal a blow on the context of Biafran being ushered into the government house. Because what that means is that if Biafrans identify a good Biafran from the southern senatorial zone, somebody will tell him, go and sit down, it's not your zone that will be in government house.
I think that is it.
So what we are saying is that this time around is a new scenario.
New order.
New order. It's no longer the business as usual. It's no longer the way it was before. Right now, Biafrans have come up. Biafrans, this is the first time Biafrans are going into the political arena of Nigeria. This is the first time. So we are not going to be told that this is zone or this is not. The zone we are interested in is Nigerian zone. And they Nigerian, one Nigerianers, who are part of our brothers. But they are those projecting that it must be one Nigeria or nothing. We are saying Biafrans are coming up. We have come up to say we want our own position in government.
Okay.
And that is when we now say, you have been in this area before. What is one Nigerianers? You have been in the government. for all this while, since the end of the war till date. Today, it is our zone. Because they have never developed Biafran infrastructure. Take for example, when Yerima came on board in Zamfara state, Yerima caused Sharia law to be moved from where it was to a state level. Today, Sharia government is running through what they call Sharia Commission throughout the northern states, at least the 12 northern states and the far north. What has our so-called governments that have been in the eastern region, Biafra land, done with the customary law that we have? If you go throughout Biafra land, throughout Igbo land, you see customary courts, nobody is even using them. They are not even maintained. The other customary aspects of our law are not defended. So what we are saying that right now, the Biafran people have come up to do what? To defend themselves. We are political orphans. Our people, our youths on the street are political orphans in Nigeria. Even though we have politicians, even though we have governors, even though we have senators, but are they representing the interests of our people? Have they taken recourse to our people and asked them, what do you want us to say in the National Assembly? What do you want us to do? What is called town hall? Whoever even tried to organize town hall is to bring food and share to people, and they will just say, please, we support you, go back again. So when issues are not being discussed.
So from what you've just said now, it is correct to say that the Biafran people, the reason why that Biafran people felt that they have not been properly represented, and the main root of the frustration of the agitation for Biafra have continued to emerge from the political class is as a result of the fact that no hardcore Biafran, no spirited Biafran, no Biafran sympathizer had ever assumed office. And the Biafrans now, like we have been going around trying to sensitize the people about the political right, that Biafran agitation is a political process. Many of our people, some of our people actually on the other side are saying no election, simply because of that same frustration that they have not been represented all these years. Now, what is the connection and the confidence the Biafra people should have with the new order, bringing in a pro-Biafran into the system and changing the status quo?
Yeah, thank you. You really captured it in a very right way, because during our interaction with the leaders of the pro-Biafran group that's calling for boycott, one of the reasons they gave is that all these political class that have been in government all through the period of 1970 to date, are they not our people? Are they not Igbo? Are they not Ijo? They are not. What have they done to make sure that we are giving our own share? Not just physical, not just financial, but our own rights in the system called Nigeria. So they say that instead of going in there to do this job, we do this business with you, let us not even go there at all. Why? Because all those who have been claiming this zone, that, what have they actually done to assuage the fear, of emasculation our people are nursing? That there is Boko Haram, there is Fulani herdsmen threatening our very existence. What have our governors that came from all these so-called zones, what have they done to make sure that our people are protected? Nothing. So our brothers are saying, good, we don't want to be part, but we are saying, yes, we want to be part. We want to cause a change.
We want to bring change.
We want to bring change. Yes, we want to make sure that right now we are not going to maintain drug business as usual. We are going to introduce a new innovation. And that new innovation is that the Biafran must be allowed to be in the government. Now, if from the other zones, every zone come out, and they are all Biafrans, North, we see Biafrans talking about how to make Biafra land a very enjoyable place. From the Anambra Central, Biafrans come up, declare their Biafranness, show that they are all Biafrans, that this is Biafra land, and not afraid to mention Biafra. People from the south, senatorial zone also come out, aspirants, candidates, political parties. Are they not our brothers? They are not Biafrans. What prevents aspirant from the northern senatorial zone that claim that it is their turn, from coming out, look at what is burning issue in their society where they share. Our brothers are being killed on the street. Every time you kill, people are killed and pushed into. The other time it was Esu River that were flooded with dead bodies of our brothers. Killed because they are agitating for Biafra. Along the street of Mpo, along this and Onisha, what have those aspirants, those political parties who are called themselves opposition to the government that is causing this killing, did they raise their voice? Did the party that is in opposition to APC, let us assume that it's APC government that is doing it from the center, what has BPP government said, party said? Are they not opposition? They have the right to question what the government is doing. What has APGA, that is also in opposition to APC, what have they said? All these political parties that are in opposition, have they sat down and questioned what the APC-led federal government is doing in killing our people in Biafra land? They didn't say anything. Those aspirants that are coming out, what are their position? Why can't they come out and defend their people, if not anything orally? Today, they now want to use zone to suppress the demand of the people to defend themselves politically.
So
it's not going to work.
So in summary now, because we'll be wrapping it up on this episode, in summary now, what is your word for both Ohaneze and to the Biafran people out there?
Ohaneze must understand that the clamor for freedom is a people's demand. It is not an issue of leadership. It is not an issue of one man coming out to say, this is what you must have. It's not. The right of every Biafran that have reached adult age, what they call adult suffrage, must be applied on this matter. So Ohaneze must understand that Biafra is far beyond Igbo. It contains more than 20 ethnic groups. And Ohaneze cannot, and this is why they have problem with our brothers down there, because they believe that Igbo people are trying to suppress them. Why should you not allow other people to show their why should Ohaneze Ndigbo think that issue of Biafra is Igbo issue? That is my own word to Ohaneze, is that they must recognize the right of Biafrans and ask the government of the day, which is the Abuja APC-led federal government, it is the duty of Ohaneze, in defense of Igbo people that are part of Biafra, to ask federal government to recognize the right of self-determination of Biafrans. Instead of Ohaneze telling us what to do, Ohaneze should listen to the voice of the people. Okay. Then to our brothers who are also agitating, we cannot run away from politicians. We cannot run away from political process. Even though we know that it has been messed up, but somebody must have to go in and clean them up. It is our duty. If we have not run away, suppress our everything about Nigeria, we are agitating because Nigeria is not doing us well. We can also to go into political arrangement arena and also agitate because they are not doing us, they are not representing us well. The way we are agitating against Nigeria, that's the way we also agitating.
Purge the system here in Biafra.
We are going to go into the political terrain and purge the system. Let us use our majority. If we say we want Biafrans and we are majority in number, let us use that majority, use this hand to vote out those who call this finger to action. The finger that votes should defeat the finger that pulls the trigger.
That's a very powerful point. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, our viewers out there. You have had it all from the administrator of the customary government of indigenous people of Biafra. If you have not gotten anything, take home these few words, that there are only 2 zones in Nigeria today. There are only 2 zones in Biafran land today. And this zone is Biafran zone and Nigerian zone. You either stand with Biafra or you stand with Nigeria. And those who assume that Ohaneze is father to indigenous people of Biafra should have a rethink, because Biafra existed before Nigeria was created, and as such, indigenous people of Biafra comprises far beyond Igbo ethnic nationalities. It includes the Ijos, the Ibibios, the Efiks, and the rest of them. So Ohaneze should put themselves back into the section where they belong in Biafra and allow Biafran people to demand for what they want, which is referendum, self-determination. Let them decide for themselves whether or not they should remain in Nigeria or have their separate state as an independent nation. I hope you enjoyed our video. I believe you will come back again to get notification about our videos. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on all our social media platforms. You can visit our website to get news updates at www.bvichannel1.com. Till I come your way next time, I still remain Asuzu Chinedu Peters. Stay blessed.